evening, and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson, and with me is my co-host, Raine's Love. We would like to welcome you to our fourth show of the Psychic Coffee Shop, where this evening we will be discussing the Akashic Records. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, settle in, tune up, and enjoy the show, and also please take part in our show.
Welcome, everyone. We have the chat room open, so feel free to join us at the Psychic Coffee Shop. Tonight, we hope that you enjoy your experience and that you're able to take with you information and knowledge to help you as you move along in your path of life. Tonight, we will start the show by taking a moment to clear our minds, light our candle of light to the world, and as we light the candle, we send out pure white light to help all of you that are going through storms in your life. May this light lead you to safe harbor, to rest, and find your way through your troubles. So may it be.
So may it be. So, this is the part of the show we call the coffee break. This is where we talk about current events, topics, things that are on your host's mind, and current subjects. This is the holiday season, and a lot of people begin giving to charities around this time, and, it's the busiest seasons. Some of the best charities to give to is Toys for Tots, Red Cross, American Cancer Society, Hospice, any GBT Foundation, and also your local churches. They really count on it. But they have to be legitimate. Because there's also a lot of fake charities out there that are not legitimate, that your money isn't going to.
Exactly. And first of all, if you're looking for legitimate charities, these stations do not solicit by door. Furthermore, when they do call you, their charity names will show up on the phone and give you an option to call back their offices. One way that you know that they are viable, in other words, they're registered with the IRS, and your donation will also be tax deductible.
Right. But, there's a lot of scammers out there also that are fake. Other ways to tell that they're fakes, major red flags, they stick to their scripts. They're not tax deductible. There's no viable office, no website. If you hear about a charity, check them out. Make sure that they're viable before you give your very hard-earned dollars to them.
Exactly.
And when they call you, it's always like scripted talk. They can't say anything outside their script. Well, we were at the hurricane too. We provided this, and this. They won't say that.
Yeah, in fact, often you'll find that they're not able to give you specific areas where the money goes to. Anyone, I do want to point this out, anyone can be a target, but there are certain groups of people who are more susceptible, such as young people, people who are lonely, those who may be mentally challenged, and even the elderly. Elderly, for example, are easy scams because they are more sympathetic. They don't hold up to pressure that well, and often they have dependable income. My mother, for example, and this happened, right after my father passed around 10 years ago, almost immediately, where she began to get calls all the time. There was even a case where she was asked to donate to a charity related to the disabled. By the way, she herself is also disabled. She went into the hospital shortly after and had forgotten about it, simply forgotten. This group actually put it on her credit because she had forgotten, with good reason, to pay, and she never received the item she was getting for her donation. The problem I see here is, why would a charity put something on your credit, and why should they have a right to?
If you find yourself in this situation where you're dealing with a non-legitimate charity, first, shut the door or hang up. Then call the local authorities and report them so that they can stop others from doing so.
Exactly. And you want to make sure that you're hanging up and calling the local authorities as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would be the local authorities?
Your local police department normally handles this in the detectives division.
Okay.
And they'll come out, take a report, and really react to the situation very seriously, because this can be very costly, especially if you give out your personal information, because then that swings into identity theft.
I also think it's important to say that there are many ways that we can give of the heart on a personal level. For example, when we see others in need, it can be as simple as bringing a dinner to a neighbor who's alone for the holidays. I also think that everyone should remember to give throughout the year. You never know when that simple act of kindness can change a person's life. Well, you know, the next topic that we want to talk about is a little bit controversial, but I think it really needs to be said, and this is related to the Westboro Baptist Church located in Kansas. Their theory or ideal is that the reasons why we're having such issues in our country, such as war, is because of the breakdown of society. This was stated in their interview, or this is their view, okay? In other words, if your view or belief system or even social status, it can be single parent, gay, religion, races, anything that's not according to their beliefs and what they believe is right, then you're a target. This particular group has been in the news quite often for picketing fallen soldiers funerals with the stand that America has turned against God. They're known for saying obscenities. They often mock the funeral, the family, insult and disrespect the soldier who has passed on. They've even attempted here recently, as late as last week, an attack on Elizabeth Edwards' funeral. The message is that if you don't think or believe what they believe, then you're subject to judgment. They're picketing anyone who is military and dies, and their families. This attack, although they do have the right, they have their amendment rights, this attack actually, interferes with many other Americans' amendment rights. For example, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and freedom of religion, freedom of belief, freedom of expression. For example, in the Washington Post, there was an article that said that the church protesters who contend that God is killing members of the military because of the nation's sins, the protesters have been known for singing racial hymns over funerals and holding signs that read, "Thank God for dead soldiers," and "Thank God for IEDs."
But what we really want to talk about is that there is light workers out there that is known as the Patriot Guard Riders. They go and stand between the families and the protesting group. By a counter-demonstration, they represent honoring the troops, honoring the dead, and blocking what they see as disrespectful and protecting the mourners of the service. This group is a bikers group. They carry American flags to block the view of the mourners and to refuse to allow Westboro Church to interrupt the funeral services.
The Patriot Guard Riders have a main mission statement, okay? And this has come about through what they have felt necessary to do in respecting, the military, okay? Their statement is to attend funeral services of fallen American heroes as invited guests of the family. Every mission they undertake has two basic objectives. First of all, to show their sincere respect of our fallen heroes, their families, and their communities. They are also there to shield the mourning family and friends from interruptions created by any protester or group of protesters. They accomplish the latter through strictly legal and nonviolent means, and have also began to work with the community in assisting veteran families with funeral expenses, delivering meals, sometimes finding veterans housing. Another thing that they do is they greet soldiers prior to and upon returning from their tours of duty. And we want to issue a complete thank you for the Patriot Guard Riders for the work that they're doing in services for our country. Families that you have protected and shielded from these ungodly actions. Okay, so next we're going to move on to our main topic tonight, the Akashic Records. What are the Akashic Records? Well, they are charts that we do before we come into this life, and we take on the lessons that we are here to grow through.
The Akashic Records, in terms used in theologians to describe a compounding amount of mystical knowledge encoded in a non-physical plane of existence. This record is described to contain all knowledge of human experiences and the history of the cosmos. They are a metaphysical description as a library, an analogical component found in discourage the subjects of the universal supercomputer and also known as the mind of God. People who describe these records access them as they are continually updated automatically, and that they are found through deep hypnosis and deep meditative thought. The concept was popularized in the theological movement of the 19th century and is derived from and diversely from the Hindu philosophy. Where are the Akashic records? It is said to be kept in the Hall of Records on the other side. This is where you will sit down with your spirit guides and work out your chart. Edward Casey told of this. Other many known psychics have brought this up when they're transmuting information. Then you will present your chart to the council. These are higher beings that's never incarnated, but kind of run things down here and make sure that everybody doesn't take on more than they can handle. They will also advise you to change or modify things if they think you're adding too much or not enough. This is where you will also review it and see what you learned and what you decided if you need to repeat something or you passed that lesson at the end of your life. The purpose is to reach more soul perfection.
What does the Akashic records have to do with us? Well, this is the complete record of your life from the beginning. The records show what you came here to learn and where you have been and what you will do. It also guides you in your growth and also is a recording of each of your lives within the theory of reincarnation, where each life is a progression of the past life. Again, kind of like school where you receive a report card to let you know if you can progress to the next level. If you don't progress, then it'll be determined whether or not you need to, go back and repeat that lesson. And what do we mean by this? Well, each life has a theme. For example, a life theme could be explorer, justice, rejection, love, enabler, humanitarian. There are somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 different themes. But how do we use them? How do we use them as psychics?
When a psychic goes to do a reading, what's going on in the spiritual world is the spirit guide of the psychic goes and accesses the records, sees where you're at within the chart, and then relays the information back to the psychic to give in the reading. Even though normally your mission in life never changes, the charts can and will change as you move through life experiences. Also, in certain situations, the spirit guide can go before council on your behalf and ask them to either remove something or move something from your chart. It is very important to understand this because when you wrote the chart, you really wasn't thinking it was going to be too hard. But we get down here through our own experiences and go, oh my goodness, this is just too much. An example of this is when you've had 3 deaths in your family in a month. You've lost your job. And you're scheduled for a heart attack according to your chart. Your spirit guide may think that this is just too much at once and request that the heart attack be moved or removed from the chart.
Yeah, so that does, in fact, kind of leave us to understand that although ultimately the lessons won't change, sometimes the dynamics of situations in our life can change. And Aeson, perhaps you can explain this a little bit. Somebody goes in and the chart has been changed, say under these circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that mess up the chart?
Well, it depends on where it's at within your chart. If it's an exiting point or an option line, it really messes it up because it pushes everything down the road. Because it's like, okay, you go through periods of life where nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, everything starts happening and you can't deal with it. And then you go through this real quiet stage of nothing moving forward. What happens during that is it's almost like you going into a book, ripping out a section and going down 5 chapters and sticking it in there. It makes a really discombobulation. This often occurs when things are majorly moving forward, majorly changing in your life, and you don't even really notice it. Then other things start popping up because you're dealing already with big crisis. But it really changes the person's chart. If it was their exit and it was, they hadn't done all their work, that's when they quickly put together new situations for you to deal with. It's almost like playing chess and then taking a piece and moving it from one side of the board to the other.
Exactly. Now, there's a particular area that often people, especially when it comes to love, find themselves in this situation, and that has to do with the soulmates. Have you ever heard the term, I met my soulmate, but the timing is off? This really has a lot to do with the Akashic records too, doesn't it, Aeson?
Very much so, because you may have needed to meet them then to give you a guiding light to move forward. You'll meet them probably again also within that life. And also with soulmates, they pop in, they pop out, because when you're filling out your chart, it's almost like you're sitting down and planning out a class. They're going to pop in and pop around, and one soulmate from one life may bring into another soulmate from another life.
Exactly, and this is one of the areas where people often get, frustrated on a personal level because they can't figure out why they're not with their soulmate. What has happened? Everything is so perfect. I feel this soul connection with this person, and I'm not with them. What's going on? How did it go from, this ultimate, complete, connection to this person has totally eradicated me out of their mind? I don't have an answer. What's going on with this? Why has this happened? Well, it's because each one of you still have lessons to learn.
All right, and you may not have completed them.
Exactly.
Example, your soulmate is learning the lesson of love, and he needed a little initiative like, here's a cookie, this is what you get to do when you get there, but halfway through the relationship he gets lost. He's not doing his work. So they may go, okay, we're going to move this to where he moves out of this situation and moves into the other situation to learn. Exactly.
It doesn't mean that they're not coming back, but it does mean that there are some lessons to learn. How many times have we heard about, a couple that's 90 years old and they've been reunited after 50 years?
Right.
This is a soulmate relationship. They both had work to do before they could be reunited.
And, both times their charts will play off each other. You'll find that they traveled in the same circles, and you lived in the same areas, communicated the whole time with the same friends, but it was never shared information.
Exactly. That's why you have such a connection with them when you meet them. And there's many people that we meet in our life that we have a soulmate connection with, or a type of connection. We aren't exactly sure what it is. It's such as walking through the airport and suddenly you turn and you look at somebody and your eyes connect and you're going, why is that person so familiar to me, yet I've never met them? You've known them in a prior life. It's the two souls recognizing each other.
Correct. And they always recognize each other, no matter what body they're in, no matter what they change their hair to. Souls will recognize each other and build off of that. Sometimes they're just meant to be passers-by. It's kind of like when we're in school. Okay, the charts are a report card and our class schedule. The people that are in our chart are like our class. So we learn off of them, we share information, we share experiences because they're there to learn it also. That's what's called a soul group. And with soul groups, there's always a special buddy system that one ties to another that ties to another. And, I've yet to meet someone that's just been married and only dated one person in their life. If you date more people and you have more relationships, it's guaranteed you've got more soulmates. It's part of it, because think about it. You may have chosen to take AP English. Your current soulmate may have decided, nope, ain't going to take AP English. I'm going to take a vacation up here and enjoy this time for a moment. So you go down and you have another soulmate that joins you down there. And then this life, both of them are in the same class.
Exactly. Now, here's another important point to bring up, Aeson. quite often people are asking, how can I tap into my past lives? How can I find out what went on in my past life to know what the lessons are that I need to learn?
Right.
And there's some, very good tips to do that. One thing that you can do, with the right tools is you can, go into meditation.
Mm-hmm.
There's healing meditations. You can also do, Sylvia Brown has a wonderful recording out there about, self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is also another way. Well, there's some other ways
or
that somebody
you could go to a there are
right.
hypnosis practitioners, and you can go there, and they will do the hypnosis themselves for you. But it's important to understand that if you're going to do this, you need to be ready to deal with the information that's handed to you, because it's not always, you lived on a farm, you tended sheep all your life. Sometimes there's some dark stuff there, Sorry, look at our history. We've had warlords, we've had warriors, we've had murderers, we've had criminals, and, dungeon keepers. Who knows what you've done? But you have to understand that was the situation that you went to learn through. Yes.
Also often people find that when they go back into past lives that they were different sexes.
Mm-hmm.
They play different roles. When they have a soulmate connection, they play different roles. That soulmate, it can be a mother-daughter, son and father, relationship. There's many different roles that you play. And often, although you may be a male or a female in this life, you will play another sex in another life, okay? That's for you to get the experience. This is all about, being able to get different experiences and learn from them for the progression of the soul. And sometimes it isn't always nice. Sometimes,
very much so.
Yeah.
And it's not always kind. And there may be people that are in this life that you instantly cannot stand. And you never understand why you can't stand that person until you do a past life regression. You see, oh my God, they've done this and this and that life. That's why I can't stand them. And you carry that on to this life. Think about it. If you don't like someone then, you ain't going to like them now.
Exactly. But you keep getting brought together, don't you? And this is quite often why people find themselves in really unusual situations with their family members, for example. When you have conflict going on between you and another family member. Okay, there's things, from the past that you need to work out. You need to come to terms with in this life.
Well, not only that, but I just find it hilarious, and I see this happening in so many relationships. You have a young child, normally 3, 4 years old, and they'll look at the parent and go, no, you ain't doing that, you're grounded. Or, and that's them talking from the perspective of a parent, not a child. And that's because at one time they were that soul's parent, and now they're that soul's child. So that's when you really got to watch and really express, okay, this, that, and another, and go, okay, and especially when children are talking about when I was big, when I lived here, and you've never been there, and they're just now growing because they're children. Express, really. Well, tell me about that time. Because not only that will you learn from your chart and yourself, but they still have memories from their charts and when they lived before. And a lot of psychic research is going from there.
Exactly. And, so many times, when we're doing a reading, people are often, trying to figure out how we know this information. And I don't know, how would you describe it? Almost like, looking at little boxes, Aeson?
Well, for me, I literally see a screen, and on that screen it's like looking at a computer file. And it'll have pictures of what's going on. It'll have information, like such and such needs to watch this, or such and such is going to have this.
Exactly. And, that's hard for someone to understand when they're listening to a reading sometimes, that you're kind of seeing what the chart is.
Mm-hmm. And, it takes a moment for you to realize, okay, I'm looking at a house. Oh, that's your mother's house. Okay, we're not there. Let's move on, because you get the complete file. It's not like, okay, here's today's section. We can read from it, but you can't read, tomorrow's section or the day before's section. So we have to figure out where you're at in this.
Exactly. And another thing that gets in the way sometimes is, if the chart has been changed.
Right. And it may be that it's changed, for their good, for your good, but the connection will still happen. A lot of people search for their soulmates and look for them instead of just going, okay, they're going to be here. I've scheduled them in. They should arrive around 5:30. I'll wait till 5:30 gets here.
Yeah, exactly. And boy, once you meet them, you know it. It's kind of like that person you walk by and you can't figure out why they're so familiar to you, but you know them.
Right. And it may not start off as romantic. It may start off as friendship and then grow from there. But
soulmates aren't the only important reason, why we have the Akashic Files. It really is about the life path and the lessons that we come here to learn.
Right. And, these lessons are important because they perfect the soul. That's the whole reason for the earth and the whole reason we come down to this hellhole. But it also helps you to deal with, say you're down here to learn rejection. You're going to be rejected everywhere you go.
Yeah, and that means sometimes you're going to have to go through some very, very difficult situations where you sometimes feel like you can't go through it anymore.
Right.
But that's where you come in.
Yeah.
That's where you guide.
It pisses me off, and I do it all the time. I talk about it. I live my life. I understand this. I've studied it all. I use the Akasha records. But dagnabbit, when I'm going through those lessons, it's like I don't know what I was on when I'd done this. And it's because when we're over there, we don't feel anything. Right. You don't, you feel love. You feel joy. You feel happiness. You don't feel stress. You don't feel anger. You don't feel pain because it doesn't exist. So then you go, okay. Then you get down here and it's like, okay, all these new feelings, all these new emotions, how do I deal with them?
Well, now, and here's something that, people also need to understand is often when we've gone through, previous lives, we come back, we get all excited, we're sitting down doing a chart, and we're going, okay, how much more can I take? I did that last time. I can do more. I can do more. Forgetting, just what it takes to come here and do all of these experiences. But also there's different levels with regard to those who come here on Earth, who are incarnated here on Earth, who may be incarnated somewhere else. Is that correct?
Right. Oh, most definitely. There's the Pleiades. There's some people that come down here one time and go, I ain't returning. I'm done. I'm going to go be a spirit guide. I'll lead them over there, instead of living there. There's a lot of things going on with the soul. Pleiades is another place that you can incarnate at, but it's more of a college situation, not as much problems. There's just different lessons to learn.
Exactly. Well, now, Aeson, I don't know, is there anything else we want to say about Akashic Files that we think we haven't covered?
Well, the only thing I want to say about Akashic Records is understand that they are there. They're there for a reason. And when you're really going through tough times, remember, you wrote it. We didn't. Right.
Exactly. Now, let's face it, some people might kind of go, okay, I don't know about this. How does this fit into religion? How does this fit into God?
Well, it speaks of them directly. It's called the Book of Life that is held, or the Book of Judgment. When it talks about crossing over and resurrection and all that. Okay? And having your name wrote down in there and all the deeds, and you'd have to answer for them. Akasha Records, because it's all wrote down.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so, now I think it's kind of time for us to turn our show over to our listeners for questions and one question, many readings. We do want to ask the callers that if you please give your name and keep it to one question. And we also ask that if you're in the chat room and would like a reading, please call in. We cannot give you a reading over the IM while helping our caller, sorry, but we can only read one person at a time, and we need to concentrate on them.
Okay. Well, our first caller's area code is 949.
Hello, Aeson and Raine. This is Audrey in Los Angeles.
How are you, Audrey?
I'm enjoying listening to you two.
Well, I'm glad of that.
I'm glad you guys have a show on BTR. This is great. Well, I wanted to ask if you see me staying with my current job that's much longer, or if you see me accepting this new guy's offer coming in with another job. This is before all the TV stuff kicks in. I'm still working in sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how
you
long.
take the new one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. But you're always going to carry multiple jobs, honey. That's something that's just within you. You get bored too easily.
You're right.
If it ain't thumping and bumping, you ain't ready to rock and roll.
So this guy's going to offer me a good offer to where I'm going to take it?
Yes, very much so.
But it's also going to offer you more opportunities for growth and learning as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Is that it?
Just be careful of your money in February.
In February?
It looks to be a hard month for you then.
A little tough.
Yeah, a little tough, but you'll make it through quite easily.
But just watch it, huh?
Yeah, just watch it. Don't go, outside your budget, and you'll be fine.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, dear.
You're welcome.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You too. And you can reach...
Have a great day, dear.
Thank you.
Okay, our next caller is coming from area code 520. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. How can we help you?
Hi, good evening. My name is Jean, and I'm calling from Arizona.
Uh-huh.
And how can we help you?
Yeah, you know what? I'm listening to your topic, and I'm kind of like interested about the soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to worry. We will be doing a show on that later on. But you're kind of a little bit more interested about the soulmate as it relates to you, right?
Yes, that's
yeah.
So I have somebody who only wants to know how you see me and the relationship between me and him.
Can we have his name, please, honey?
Carrie.
Okay. I feel it's a soulmate relationship, honey, but I feel like he ain't finished everything. You guys are going to have to work out some things, and he's got a lot of work to do. He's behind in his studies. Okay?
This is why sometimes you get a little bit confused about the relationship. Sometimes you feel like the connection is extremely close, and then you get walls up from him.
Okay. So he's not my soulmate. Is that...
No,
he is. It's just he needs to finish up what he's doing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to work
he's
out.
your soulmate. You know he's your soulmate.
I need to work out on him, or do I let it go? Or
let him do
the
work. Don't do his homework for him, honey.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm just gonna be listening more because I want to see more details about the soulmate.
Okay, honey. Well, we're gonna have an up and coming show just about soulmates too. So come back and listen to us.
Do you have burning questions you need answered? We all do. Visit our website at psychic.biz where you can find accurate psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers from around the world who are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can have your questions answered anonymously and right from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. The introductory chat is always free, and we offer low per-minute rates and special promotions. Our online psychics offer helpful, practical guidance into what matters most to you. Visit us today at psychic.biz.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back, Raine. Nice of you to join us back.
Mercury is in retrograde.
Oh, I know, honey. Don't you believe me? I know. Let's talk about affirmations, since they're such a powerful point in our life.
Yeah, and this is really quite often something that I find to be a very useful tool, not only for myself, but really for people that I talk to every day. Quite often we don't understand that the messages that we're giving to ourselves, whether they're positive or negative, that's what we're putting out there. The person that goes and says, I'm a loser, I lose all the time and everything's going bad, well, guess what? You're putting out that energy. So affirmations are very, very important. It's very important to kind of check where you're thinking, check where your head's at.
Exactly, because where your head's at is where your heart's at, and that's where you're leading yourself to. And if you think it today, it's going to be there tomorrow.
Exactly. And, quite often, I say, start with, if there's a specific area in your life, such as, for example, you feel like, in love you've always lost and you've never been successful and everyone you ever talk to or you ever go out with always leaves you. What do you think would be a good affirmation for that?
A good affirmation for that, in my opinion, is I am popular. No one, pulls away from me. I am happy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. And putting that affirmation up, actually writing down that affirmation. You can put it on your bathroom mirror. You can put it in on front of your refrigerator. You can put it, where you're putting on your makeup or you're getting dressed every day. Make sure that you're saying that message to yourself throughout the day, because whatever you're putting in, it begins to become a part of you. Some people, really when it comes to basically, they don't feel like they're lovable, okay? As far as an affirmation, putting that information into you, okay? I am loved by everybody. I am perfectly and wonderfully made, and wonderful are thy works, okay? I am lovable and acceptable, and I'm worthy of being loved. You have to give yourself that affirmation.
Right. And you have to give yourself that time to think and to discuss and to go, okay, these are the goals of my life. This is what I'm going to accomplish. This is where I'm going. And with the Akashic Records, it fills in the major things, but it's not going to cover your daily lesson, your daily desire, your daily want. So that's where you take the affirmations and add to them.
Exactly. Quite often when you come into my office, my sons are always laughing because they walk in and they see all these wonderful statements all over the wall. These are things I need to work on. These are things I want to work on, within myself, okay? It isn't just about the affirmations, but the affirmations are a good tool to help change that way of thinking, because quite often we don't realize that the message that we're giving to ourselves eternally or putting out there to others is, in fact, we're creating that, we're manifesting that.
And we're growing that. One way or another, we're going to pull it through. It's going to come right into your life, and it's going to be right there. Yeah,
exactly. And I don't know, Aeson, do you have some daily affirmations that you have that are specific to you?
I do a lot of different ones. I mean, everything from where, my business will flourish. I am accomplished. I will accomplish everything to, my life is lived in love. My life is focused with love. I will help others, and the one I do every day is the Reiki principles.
Exactly. I was going to mention that, yeah. Yeah, the Reiki principles. And because you know what? Those are simple. It's an honest way of, living life. It puts you right back in focus, and it gets you away from that negative thinking. And, we did discuss the Reiki principles last week. Just for today, I will give thanks for many blessings.
Just for today, I will not worry.
Just for today, I will not be angry.
Just for today, I will be kind to my neighbor and honest with my work.
Right. And just for today, I'll also be kind to every living thing. Okay? That's a simple affirmation, okay? That's putting it out there to the universe, that you want to do you're out there, you're doing good, you're keeping yourself in alignment.
Right. And it's important to keep yourself focused on the goals that you want to have in your life, whether it's a soulmate. I am loved by all, and my soulmate will join me shortly. And that helps you. It gives you focus. It puts out that energy to the universe going, okay, she's ready. Her soulmate's here. She's ready for it.
Yeah. And for those of us, who've had some concerns tonight, along the lines of soulmate, including one of our callers, this is a really good affirmation. Yes, I love you, stating their name. I love you with all my heart. I am doing my work so we can be together because I know it's my spiritual contract, and I know that you need to do your work so that we can be together. Okay, so you're still connected because that connection's never going to go away. But you're also saying, okay, I recognize it's not time, but I still have things to do. That helps to keep the energy positive for you as well. And another thing, I do this, I think this is a really good technique. Often families, will find themselves, where, one family member, is putting down another family member. There's a lot of negative energy going wrong. Mom and Dad are calling and they're going, what on earth do I do about this? I will tell them, get affirmations. Start putting them up. Get those plaques. Put them up on the walls. Put them in the refrigerators. Start putting that out there, putting that information, those words out there. Put it within the home. Start saying those positive affirmations, speaking them in the home.
Right. And, focusing them towards their life. Join them in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you can move forward and you can deal with things.
And a really simple technique, okay, and some people have tried this, and we talked a little bit about this when we were talking about vision boards. Quite often somebody will go and put a picture, say they want a new home. They'll put a picture of a home on the refrigerator. Next thing you know, different family members are coming up and they're putting up what their dreams are, what they want, okay? Mm-hmm. That's still another form of positive energy affirmations. That's putting out there what you want.
Right.
But it's what we say and what we think that makes all the difference in the world.
And feel. Because if you are feeling low, your vibration is low, and you're telling the universe, give me anything, I'll take whatever you've got left over, I'm not important here. Well, of course, the universe is going to go, okay, she's not important. Let's throw her, 3 men to date at one time because she's apparently too bored.
Yeah. But if you want to have someone in your life that is committed, someone who is loyal, somebody who's ready for a relationship, and somebody who respects you, the affirmation that you would give to yourself would be, I am worthy, and I have a man or a woman in my life who treats me with respect, who is committed, and is ready to love me.
Right, and, also with those affirmations, you want to make sure your visual cues throughout your life is ready for that. Example, is your closet packed to the hilt? Your drawers packed to the hilt? How's someone supposed to move into that? Clean that out. Get that organized. Make room for that second person. Do you have pictures of people, looking away? These, and I've seen it in so many houses I walk in, and most times it is to do, when I sat down to do the reading, they're having relationship problems. Every piece of art in their house is a single person looking away from them. Not looking at the viewer of the painting, their profile views, whatever. And I'm like, look around you at the energy you're putting around you. You're putting those visual cues of alonement, being alone, being quiet.
Mm-hmm. But we also put those cues up when we go out in public, don't we?
Very much so.
Yeah.
In how you dress, how you appear, and how you present yourself. If you walk out there in charge and controlled, you're all set to go. Everybody's wanting to be your friend. But if you walk out, oh, it's just me, I don't really care, well, that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be you.
Exactly. And, this is another thing, and this even relates to our first caller, about the job, okay? When you go into work, so many times people are struggling with people that they work with, okay? And, what can you do? Well, you can't control that person. However, you can put that energy out there. Again, it's how you present yourself, but it's also the energy that you put out there. One simple little try is when I am, going into a workplace, there's somebody who's negative, I would immediately walk up, I would find something truthful about them, and I would compliment them. And I found that over time, I began to look for that. Their energy began to change. Again, it was putting the positive out there, which I know is a little bit different, but it is kind of like affirmations. It's just that it's about the energy that you're putting out there.
Right, and what you're allowing to enter into your space. If you do not want to deal with something like that, I do not deal with drama. That's one of my affirmations. I do not deal with drama. It is nowhere around me.
Right.
Right. And that's part of dealing with things in general.
Yeah. So, what affirmation would you say to somebody who says, I'm always broke and poor?
I have more than enough money. I have more than enough money. My needs are always met. And if it's getting a little testy and you guys need a little bit of focus, I continually keep a green candle burning where I work, whether it's in my home office, in my office for the public. You walk in, you're going to smell a bright, piercing, pine-scented candle. It smells literally like I've got a pine forest planted in the back room. But that reminds me of money and benefits and, everything being met. And it works. I personally have tested this and said, okay, I'm tired of ordering these candles. I ordered because I'm sorry, they're $7 a candle and they burn for like a week. Okay, really good wholesale price. I order them, and I'm like, okay, I don't always keep up with stock and where they're at and all that, and I'll run out. And literally, appointments will cancel, phone calls will go awry, phone systems will go awry, and it's like, okay, I need to be reminded. You're here to do work, but you're going to be rewarded for it. So that's my visual cue to it.
Yeah, and another thing that I always keep lit as well, Aeson, is a white candle. And the reason why I keep the white candle lit is this is about positive energy. This is about, surrounding yourself, your home, your office, the people that you're around with positive energy, okay, keeping all negative energy out.
Right, and keeping everything together.
Right. And it may sound like a simple little step, but it works for me.
All right. And it's just that visual cue. If you're wanting more control of your emotions, put a water figure in your room where you can see it and it causes you to relax and be calm. If you're going through a lot of stress and you're feeling really tired, put something upbeat, energy-wise. Music, something rapidly moving, to catch your breath and just remind you to do what you need to do. And one of the most simplest but most important affirmations is, I remember to breathe when I need to.
Yeah, exactly. That's really helpful when you're suffering from anxiety, isn't it?
Very much so. You know, and to say that daily, that you remember to breathe, you remember to relax, you remember to take one thing at a time.
Yeah. And the thing of it is a lot of times, when you tell people to use affirmations, they kind of go, huh?
Right. They're like, huh?
Really, really on a basic, simple level, it really does work. And it's a simple way to start making changes in your life. Okay?
Right.
Changing the thinking, changing the energy.
Right. And changing how you're going to deal with stuff. Because once you say this thing to yourself, you're going to keep your word. You're not going to be angry at people. You're going to negotiate through it.
Right. Exactly. Because it's going into your mindset.
Right.
And so it becomes a part of you, and it becomes a part of your thinking. And you notice when you change your way of thinking, suddenly opportunities begin to come to you. If you're asking for work opportunities, if you're asking for relationship opportunities, people and situations will begin to be put in your life because you're putting energy out there.
And you just run into them. You just stumble over this idea. Most inventors, they don't even realize it till, boom, it's there. It's in front of them.
Exactly.
Okay.
And notice that a lot of people have been very successful. If you're sitting down listening to them and talking to them, if you have that opportunity, this is the mindset that they have.
Right. One of the most notable is Oprah.
Exactly.
She's in such demand, and people, watch her so much. But very few of them realize, she grew up a poor person, and led her life with affirmations. I will have this. I will do this. I will do that. And that's one page I take from her book. Well, once again, we've reached the end of our show. We want to thank you for joining us, and we're glad you just decided to join us. Come join us again. And next week, we're going to be talking about, Raine, what's our topic next week?
I believe we are going to be discussing soulmates next week.
Oh, really? Okay. So we're going to be sharing views of soulmates. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, this is one subject me and Raine does not agree on, so you're going to get two totally different viewpoints, which will be great for your knowledge.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Or are you feeling stuck and not sure where to turn? We can help. Visit our website at psychic.biz from your computer, smartphone, or tablet, where you can get accurate readings and insight by speaking with any one of our tested advisors. We offer live chat, video sessions, one-on-one phone calls, and even email readings. We have several gifted psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, and other healers from around the world who are available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your initial chat is always free, and our psychics do offer special prices and low per-minute rates. Visit us today at psychic.biz and get the guidance you need today for your tomorrow.